Hello, everybody. Today I had to come, I'm a bit late and I'm doing it on YouTube because I was hearing a lot of sounds coming back at me, or it's been repeated again and again. So today we're going to speak about inner guru and about love making, about relationships and the difficulties we can have in relationships. Okay? Now, when we talk about relationships, we talk about ourselves. We're not talking about a third party. Can you just give me 1 second? We need to brighten the area. Yeah. Sorry, it was messy today. So I was a bit distracted. Now, when we talk about, everybody wants to be in love. Everybody wants to be involved in somebody else's life. But first, we have to be involved in our own life. So the interesting part is when we say inner guru. What is inner guru? Is it some mystical thing outside of us or something within us? Inner guru is basically within us. You know, in Hinduism or Tantra, we say the inner guru is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Okay, and then you have another inner guru, which is the planet Jupiter. They are within your body. When you say the macrocosm is identical to the microcosm, or the microcosm is a mirror of the macrocosm. So which means that everything that is divine out there, it's also divine within you. So you have to first go within yourself before you can actually think about a relationship or even being involved with somebody else. Now the question is this: when you talk about being involved with somebody, how much are you involved? That's the question. Are you capable of being involved? The second question. So you need to know for yourself what you are about and what you can express, how you can express yourself. So for that, you need to be comfortable with yourself. Who am I? Am I a divine person, or am I just a physical entity that's living on this world? Am I this biological being, or am I a spirit? That's something you have to first understand. If you realize you're a spirit, then the question is this: how do I actually get to know my spirit? Because generally speaking, a lot of us have no concept of our spirit. We only think in terms of, okay, I go to the gym, I work out. I do yoga, I do hatha yoga. Okay? Hatha yoga is all about how you can, make your physical body a lot more stronger. I don't say hatha yoga is not important. Hatha yoga is very important, but what is more important is this: you also need to have connection with your spirit. So a union between two people always happens when the spirits are meeting. So you have either the ego meeting each other, saying, I like you because you this, and the other, or I like you because you do this, and this for me. The question here is this: what about what you can experience out of that love? It's more important than what the other person can do for you. Because you're the artist, you're the painter. how can you paint what through somebody? You can only paint what comes from you. So you can only do the painting if you offer something, if you're capable of offering something. So where is your creative self coming from? You know, like when you hear people saying, oh, I love you from the bottom of your heart. Come on. When you go into the mental stage of saying I love you, yes, because that's what you have learned. But when you actually, the most important time is, you know, when you have your first love, the excitement you feel in your tummy, but through your navel chakra, not your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is the one that keeps beating faster because of the excitement. But as we go along, we get hurt, you know, because the present situation of the environmental mental pollution around most nations is pretty bad. So we've lost that innocence, we lost that beauty of being in love and actually living to express ourselves through somebody. That expression that you can, when you become the artist, the painting is always good. When you allow your partner to be the artist and you want to create through her or him, then it's going to be a disaster because you can't feel them completely. When you can't feel what you feel completely, how can you feel what another being can feel? So in a relationship, when a relationship fails, it is not because the relationship failed. It's because you fail in the relationship. Because you did not connect truly to somebody. So sit back and think where you're going to go from here. Okay, the only way you can go, because you're not just a physical being. You have a physical being and you have a subtle being. The beauty of Tantra is this, it takes you into the subtle being. It's a journey that you can go into your subtle being and you can experience the divinity of your being. Who are you? Who am I? What am I to offer the world? And how can I offer the best that there is to be offered? That is the main question. Okay, how you relate to this state of life is important. This is the first time I'm doing this. Okay. So anybody here having any question, you can actually type the question so I can answer you. This is the first time I'm doing through YouTube instead of doing through Vimeo, because Vimeo seems to have, I was having an echo sound coming back 2-3 times, so I had to cancel both the videos. So now I'm here on YouTube because I didn't want to stop what I'm doing, because I want every week a video to be out there. So I decided I'll try this venue, and this seems to be good. So now the question here is this: what do you want in life? How you're going to go about, changing your life, making a big difference into your life through your partner. Your partner is a gift for you. You're not the gift for your partner. And your partner has to feel the same way for you. It's the union of two spirits. And believe me, sex is not going to take you there. It's become a cultural habit now. If you like someone, you go to bed straight away. And then you also break up as fast as you went into the relationship. Now, what we want here is this: we don't want to get in. We need to change this, if not for ourselves, at least for the future generations. I know people who have been, each partner, they have children. So you find that you end up having a lot of children with different mothers or fathers. And there is a disconnection in that, in the sense that the children have to be connected to so many fathers. And because when one father comes to see, or one mother comes to see a child, then the others also question, okay, your mother is so-and-so, what my mother? My mother is so-and-so. It's a bit crazy. So let us, and also beyond that, we end up going to divorce courts, the lawyers make money, you go through stress, then you go to a psychologist. Why all this headache? You start off saying, okay, from now onwards, I am going to be responsible for myself. I am going to be divine. I'm going to seek my inner self. I want to go within. My subtle body is the only thing that can actually make love. Okay, that's where you want your inner guru. Then you need, okay, in Christianity you say the Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. In Tantra we say Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. And then on top of that, planets do influence you a lot. And Jupiter does influence your third eye and your second chakra. So that's why Jupiter is also in the second chakra. And for women, all the Mahavidya goddesses are within the second chakra as well. Most of them, not all, sorry. But some of them are in the heart and the crown, so that's why a woman is a lot more sensitive to spiritual energy compared to a man. Because they are wired in such a way that they are always open for love, open to compassion, open to caring and sharing. Because a mother automatically loves the child, whether the child is good or bad or naughty or whatever happens, the mother is still a mother, still loving. The father can detach himself very easily, but not the mother. They may. So the question is this: now, how do we get to know our inner guru? And then how do we actually start feeling our subtle body? Because if you don't feel your subtle body, and if you make love through your head, you're not enjoying it, one. It hasn't got a long use-by date, which means you're always going into one bed and then jumping to another bed. There's no consistency here. So for that, you need to learn how to do mantras. Now, how is that good? What is mantras? Mantras are basically sound frequency that a lot of all ancient civilization, everywhere, where there's Greek, Latin, Italian, they all had their own sacred sounds. And they're all quite universal, basically, if you ask me. Because the sound of the sun has got to be the sound of the sun. Sound of the moon has to be the sound of the moon. You can't, change because you speak a different language. So what has actually happened is this: we're fortunate that Tantra has kept those magical sounds. It's basically in Tantra, because of Kali Yuga, they needed to make it simple, so they gave us the sound for all of the different elements, and that's why in yoga you all do this sound, ram, lam, mum, all the petals of each chakra. Whereas what I teach is not so much the petals of the chakra, but the goddesses that reside within, and the planets and the deities. Because basically you just don't want to awaken the petals. You don't want Kundalini energy to rise before you connect yourself to the subtle body. You have to connect yourself to the planets, the elements, the goddesses, so that then you feel the energy of each of the chakras as you go along. Eventually you'll find that she will also wake up and move up in your body, in your spine. So when you do that way, you're not going to get a lot of these complaints I've heard from a lot of different groups of people, that they've had headaches, migraines, all sorts of things. You don't want that. You don't want to have migraines. You don't want to have headaches. You want to actually live. You want to experience her when she's ready to get up. So in the meantime, instead of working on her waking up in you, you work on having her energy, having all the elements, the goddesses, gods, come to balance inside yourself. Like for instance, if I do with my eyes looking at my third eye, I feel the Om there. So I feel in my third eye. And then like if I want Jupiter to be awakened, then I go brim. So when I do the brim, the sound brim travels from my third eye right down to my second chakra. So it's the tone, the frequency we use that makes sound travel. Then when I want to do, say I want the wisdom in me to be awakened, I want Mercury, so speech and third eye again. Then I go, I'm. So when I do, I'm invoking the throat chakra. Okay, but at the same time, I feel a bit in my heart, and I feel the third eye. So that is how mantras got to be done, not the way that you see every time in most of the. If you look at all the YouTube videos, they're all nice. They're beautiful. You know, it's like instead of going if everybody recorded that, then nobody's going to listen to it. So it has its place. But if you're serious about your spiritual journey, you're serious about, forget about spiritual journey. Don't give a nice high big. If you're just interested in life and being happy, living in harmony with your surrounding, you have the. I mean, whether people are in harmony with you is not important. The question is are you in harmony? Can you feel and enjoy love? That's the most important thing. So you work on yourself. And each one of us, if we work on ourselves, we find that we live in a very beautiful society and things will be great. So ask yourself what you want, where you want to go from here, and how you're going to resonate in life. Your sadhana becomes very important. Okay, sadhana is very important. Okay, at the moment, Anybody has any questions so far? The three of you there. I'd like to know whether you have any questions. I say Vanakkam to start with. Yeah. I start the conversation. So if you have any questions, don't feel shy. Do write so I know it's working. And if you can hear me clearly and things are good, then let me know as well. Because this journey is not about me alone, but it's about you and me. Now, sadhana. Sadhana is basically practice. Now, how well you want to practice? Let me go. No, basically sadhana is when it's practice. So what is your sadhana? What is, like for me, I do mantras, I do Agni Homa, which is fire ritual. But at the same time, I'm always inconsistently, like from the time I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I play the Triambaka mantra. So it's playing in the background all the time, and I carry on doing my breakfast and things like that. And then after that, everything I do from that moment till the time I go to sleep, or at least when I've gone to sleep, because I don't know when I go to sleep, but I'm doing mantras while I'm going to go to sleep. Then I do mentally. I don't do loudly because I don't want the frequency to energize me, and I'm totally awake. So I make sure that I don't do like sound like frequency wise, but I do mental frequency instead of verbal frequency. Instead of saying when I'm trying to sleep, or my favorite is Kali, so I don't go Kareem, 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 hum, Dakshani Kalike, Kareem, 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 hum, Swaha. So I can go that way. Instead of, then you find that I would become a lot more alive. But then when I do a mantra mentally, I can go to sleep nicely. Basically, what I want is this: when I'm conscious, I'm still doing mantras and I'm still listening to mantras and working with mantras, or working with a job that deals with, like I'm writing articles about Tantra. I'm doing the school of Hindu Tantra, where I do all the articles and do a lot of research. So I'm consistently in Tantra. Okay, I'm fortunate because that's what I do. And then there are people like you have your own job, you have your own life, and then you set out, like the ones who are really serious about life, they do about 2 hours of, between the 2 hours is doing a bit of yoga, doing a bit of pranayama, but doing more than 45 minutes of doing sound. Okay, I don't want to keep saying mantras. I say sound. Basically, it's mantras because that's the only sound that is available to us in the world today. Because most of them got lost when the coming of Christianity and Islam, and that took away a lot of that beautiful, beautiful wisdom that was there before, especially fire ritual. If you look at all history, every part of the world, fire was one of the gods they worshipped. Now, when I say you worship, you're not worshipping the god as per se outside of you. When you're doing fire, you're not worshipping the fire, but you're worshipping the fire within you. And the fire outside of you adds to that energetically. So that it whenever you put, all the times when you put sound into your body, you're getting rid of the emotional memories that you have stored in your body. Because we store emotional memories every time. Our environment is such. If you take the newspaper, you hear things that can activate, affect you emotionally. If you look at the television, you can do the same. You walk out in the street sometime, you find accidents, you find different things that affects you. So we live in a environment that's a bit harsh at the moment. Not bad, but slightly irritating sometimes. So basically, you need to be always inward and enjoy the outer world for what it is. Instead of getting involved with the outer world, you stay within your world, within your subtle world. So you're always conscious that what is happening outside you is going to happen. You can't stop it, but you can help if someone seeks out help from you. So you can either make your whole life a sadhana or a practice where you're conscious about what you say, you do. Most important thing, you have to be conscious of what you say. And you got to be available all the time. Love is funny. You can't turn it like a tap. You can't turn it on and off. It's an energy that flows because it is you. You can't turn yourself on and off. So make sure that when you think in terms of uniting with someone, before you can unite with someone, think about first discovering yourself. So you need your inner guru. So you need Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. You can go, Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurue Namaha Om. That one I don't do so many times. I do 3 times just to acknowledge them. But then I go straight to the planet Jupiter, which is easier. If you want to call upon your inner guru, you call upon your Jupiter and Dakshinamurti, who is Guru, Shiva as Guru. Because with them you find that you can do the bija mantras with a nice resonating sound. You can go Om Brahm Brahaspade Namaha Om Om Brahm Brahaspade Namaha Om Om Brahm Brahaspade Namaha Om. Or you can go also, you can add to that, you can add I'm is basically from Matanji, who is wisdom, Saraswati, and also Mercury. So Matanji is within your body, Saraswati is above. So you think in terms of Matanji. Go, I'm more your inner gurus become alive, you find that you get insight into things. You're a lot more clearer in your thinking. You're a lot more clearer in the purpose of your life, and you're a lot more clearer in where you want to go. So life doesn't become a trap. You don't stay within, you don't go from day to day, living just to survive. There's no such thing as survival. You live or you're dead. If you're surviving, you're a dead human. You're a biological person, which means you're not complete human. Though you are born biologically a human. It's only when your subtle body and your physical body are united that you become a real human being. Basically, at the moment, you find most people, especially in the West, they're mainly biological. And India, it's fast moving towards that because the villages, thank God, the villages are still alive and they're still strong in numbers. So they're the one who kept the goddess tradition alive. They're the ones that's going to keep, your spiritual side alive. Keep your spiritual self alive and going. So basically what I'm trying to say is this. You need to be spiritually inclined. Or you need to know your spirit. Because if you don't know your spirit, when I mean spiritually inclined, I don't mean religion, okay? Like I go to temples in India, only if they are more than 1,000 years old. When I'm in Malaysia, I don't go to any temples. Because they don't have that energy strong in the temples. Whereas the temples in India, only those who were built 1,000 years ago or above, when all the sadhus were alive and when they were really doing proper sadhana. When people prayed, they were praying because they were grateful for the God and Goddess. They were not in trouble seeking for salvation. They were sharing gratitude. Today, it's a beggar's paradise. Everybody goes to temple wherever they go, prayer. They're always asking God for something. I mean, it's crazy. You're given everything, body, mind, and spirit. And if you don't know how to connect with it, what can the gods do? They can't do anything. They have already placed themselves inside of you. Going to Ganesh temple and talking to Ganesh and asking him to help you, he actually gets a headache because of that. Imagine all the different time zones. People are praying all over the world for him. He can't sleep. So energetically, his energy doesn't get to rest because we all have become beggars. We are supposed to be lovers. We're supposed to enjoy the essence that we are divine, that they reside in us. Are we grateful that they reside in us? Or do we always consistently want to ask them, if someone came and asked you every day they met you, I need this, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give me this? What would you do? You'll throw them away. You say, I don't want to know you. You're too much of a needy person. So God is the same way, okay? You have the tools. You have everything inside of you. You have to go within. The only reason you never got to learn this science is because the system wanted to control you and make you depend on them. I mean, at one time, temples in India were not meant for prayer. They were meant for meditation and learning. Today, you go to a temple, it's all about puja. It's all about paying some guy who claims to know. I mean, if you look at him carefully, you find that he is not even there. He's not even interested in the gods and goddesses. I don't think he believes that the god and goddesses are in the statues that he shows the light to. Because sometimes I feel like throwing a stone at them when I see that. They do it so fast, they're looking to see who's coming, and they're looking at how much money they can make. Love making is beauty, whether it's in a temple, whether you're doing puja, you're doing any ritual. All rituals are an expression of your deeper self. Your love, you share your love with it. When you touch someone, it's not that they feel the pleasure, but you feel the pleasure because you feel your touch. You're the first recipient when you give. The person receiving it has a choice of receiving it well and enjoying it or not enjoying it. In today's world, a lot of people also have a difficulty in receiving. So, because they are scared. So we have to stop being scared. We got to know our spirit. Once we know our spirit, we're not scared of anything. Then we are ready to make love. Then we are ready to love. It's not about, like Neo Tantra say, better sex. I have met, I mean, if you see my beard, I'm not young. I've traveled in the West, I've taught in the West, I've taught in the East, I've taught everywhere. And most people, when you look at them, they're not very happy. How does obesity come? Obesity is one of the big things that happens when you're not happy. And you find a lot of people are out of shape, unhealthy. How can they love? How can they even have the capacity to love? So enjoy loving yourself, being in harmony with yourself, and being alive. Okay? Anybody with any questions? If you don't have any questions, I would speak to you all next week. Because it's a bit late, because I have another appointment. I never thought I was going to have problem with my venue recording system. It was speaking back to me, so I had to stop it. So I got delayed, and I started late. So thank you for being here. Yeah, thank you everybody. Vanakkam, and see you all next week. Might end up using this channel. Bye.